Το Europarl TV παρουσιάζει έναν έξυπνο διάλογο ανάμεσα σε μία μητέρα και κόρη, οι οποίες ανακαλύπτουν μαζί πώς λειτουργεί το δημόσιο χρέος και τι μπορεί ή τι πρέπει να γίνει με αυτό.
All the countries in Europe are in debt. Some more so, some less so. In fact, the biggest countries in the world, yeah, they're also hugely indebted.
Η μητέρα λοιπόν εξηγεί στην κόρη της τι ακριβώς συμβαίνει με τον τρόπο λειτουργίας των χωρών στον τομέα της οικονομίας.
How can I explain this to you? Back in the 70s, before you were born, when a country's debt increased, their national bank would print new money to pay for schools and hospitals and motorways and civil servants, and it worked, more or less.
What do you mean, more or less?
Well, just before elections, politicians would misuse this possibility of self-financing out of debt, and this would lead to soaring inflation and skyrocketing prices. So, since the 70s, European nations have banned seeking recourse to domestic banks to service the debt. Instead, they now create bonds and sell them to private banks in order to get the necessary money.
Σήμερα το δημόσιο χρέος το αναλαμβάνουν οι εμπορικές τράπεζες από την Ευρωζώνη και εκτός αυτής. Όμως, η οικονομία κάθε χώρας αξιολογείται. Το σχολείο είναι το καλύτερο παράδειγμα για να καταλάβουμε όλοι μας τι σημαίνει αυτό.
So it's a bit like in school, right? So in school, if you do your homework, you get good marks. It's kind of the same for countries. If their economy is stable and if their political situation is stable too, that means they get really good marks, like a AAA. And if things aren't going so well, then they don't get such good marks, like a AA, a B or even a C. And that's what drives the interest rates up.
Για να δούμε όμως τι δυνατότητες υπάρχουν για την αποπληρωμή του χρέους.
But how can you just go and cut public debt?
Very good question. Well, there's a few ways, but let's say you could write off your debts, but then lenders, they're not very happy. Or the government could sell off what's called public assets, like the postal service or gas or electricity. But you know what? People like you and me, the public, we're not very happy.
Το ζητούμενο πάντως παραμένει η ανάπτυξη, γιατί έτσι μειώνεται και το κόστος του χρέους. Τι γίνεται όμως με τη χρεοκοπία?
Mum, one last question. Can a country go bankrupt?
Yes, a country can go bankrupt and stop reimbursing its debt to its lenders. But then the next time it wants to borrow money, well, no one wants to lend money to the country. So in the meantime, we've just got to pay off our debts.
Ιδού λοιπόν ένας ευφυής τρόπος επεξήγησης του δημόσιου χρέους.